Hey there, it's Jenna from the Intern Hustle. If you're watching this, I'm guessing you're a college student working towards a degree and thinking about what comes next after you graduate. And by this point, you've recognized that a degree is just a piece of paper with your name on it, and it doesn't come with a guide on how to land your first job. That's where internships come in handy. If you apply intention and take action, they can be a great on-ramp to your first job. In this video, I'm covering how to go about internships in the right way to increase your chances of getting hired and going from internship to full-time. If you're ready to dive in, hit that like button and subscribe and tap that bell while you're at it, and let's do this. When people ask me for advice on how to convert their internship into a full-time opportunity, my overarching advice is to control what you can control. And remember, there will always be circumstances outside of your control. Some that may be working against your goal of getting the job offer. Things like, is the company even in a position to hire right now? Do they have the budget or the management to take on and train new employees? But instead of focusing on what you can't control, I want you to focus on what you can. Because if you focus on showing up and you go above and beyond at your internship, you become the person that after 8 to 10 weeks of an internship, people can't imagine working without. You become a value add to the company. So let's break down the types of things that you can control at your internship. To kick it off, this is just about as basic of a principle as there is, but be a person that other people want to work with. You can do that, right? This is in your control. Show up with a positive attitude, have fun, be human, meaning don't try to be perfect. People don't relate to perfect. And don't vent or spread toxic energy. Focus on getting along well with the team. You could have the best work ethic and do everything else right at your internship, but if people don't like working with you, it doesn't matter. You're out. Companies guard their culture, because 1 or 2 bad apples can easily take down what they've spent the time to build up. So if you have hopes to get a full-time offer, bring your best self to the internship each day. Be pleasant to work with and learn how you best fit into the company culture. Let's move on. Being a good communicator is huge when it comes to being a person that other people want to work with. So that's the next thing that you can control, how you communicate. I have an entire video on this, which I will link for you. So I'm not going to break this down in detail here, but gosh darn it, learn how to send a proper email. Find your voice and use it in meetings. Respectfully, of course. And figure out the company's preferred communication tools and embrace them. Please go watch my video on communication best practices so that you really grasp this concept. But to quickly paint the picture for you, just ask yourself this. Who would you want to hire and work with? The intern who is terrible at responding to emails, and when they do, they write an essay with no clear calls to action, and they end up creating more work for you than being helpful? Or the intern who writes proactive and thoughtful emails that are concise and help to drive next steps and track down deliverables for projects? If you want that job offer, learn how to communicate well. Now let's take that a step further. The next level of communication is getting clear on expectations and goals with your manager or whoever you happen to be reporting into at your internship. You are responsible for making sure that you understand expectations. This is in your control. When you start your internship, make sure that you sit down with your manager and get the lay of the land. What are your primary responsibilities? Who needs to be updated on progress and how frequently? And do you have the freedom to work across departments and take on additional projects if you desire? If you want to increase your chances of getting hired after this internship, then make sure you are on the same page and in good graces with the person who's overseeing your work. So how do you ensure that you stay in their good graces, you ask? Well, that's my next point, because you guessed it, this too is in your control. Show up and do the job that you were asked to do. Focus on knocking that out of the park first, because that is where you are needed most and where you can have the biggest impact. And if you're doing this well, it makes your manager look good too, which they will appreciate. Don't be discouraged by small tasks. Show them that you can do them well and earn their trust for the bigger tasks. Why would they give you the bigger and better if you don't even do the easy stuff well? And if the smaller, less desirable tasks in your mind are so easy, then it's definitely in your control to do a kick-ass job with them, isn't it? Show them that you are full-time material by doing all work well and with a smile. Okay, how are we doing? Are you still with me? Is this all making sense? Control what you can? I hope so. Next up, I want you to make yourself visible. They don't need to give you a special platform during the company all-hands meeting for you to be visible. You can control your visibility at the company in a couple ways. First one, fairly simple. Show up and get involved. Whether in person or virtual, the company will host team building type of events. Participate. If you want to be a part of the team, then let your actions show them that. Second, work in and help out as many departments as you can over the course of your internship. Even if it means a few extra hours here and there, it's worth it to increase your visibility at the company. The more people who know how great you are and experience you adding value, the better your chances of getting hired full-time. And speaking of people, that leads me to one of the most important things in your control, which is to build real relationships. Relationships are so important because they can benefit you in the short term and the long term. You never know when someone may be able to help you out in your career. And this goes for coworkers, partners, and clients. Heck, even your fellow interns. Make a good impression with everyone that you meet. Sit down with people one-on-one over coffee or lunch just to learn more about them. Connect with them on LinkedIn while you're still in the picture working alongside them. And stay in touch with them. Maybe they advocate for you and help you earn a full-time role right after your internship. Or maybe they do a year from now. Or maybe it's not even at this company, but a future one that is even a better fit for you. But it's your job and it's in your control to nurture the relationship and keep all of your options open. So that's a lot that's in your control. Be a pleasure to work with. Communicate well. Understand and manage expectations. Do what you are asked to do and do it well. Make yourself visible and build real relationships over the course of your internship. Do all of that, and now you're in a position to discuss the potential of a full-time job offer. And here are my tips for approaching this subject and giving yourself your best shot. Share your interest in working with the company full-time with your manager. Don't expect them to read your mind. And bring it up proactively. This gives everyone enough time to process the idea and evaluate your performance. Check in at the halfway point of your internship to restate your interest and ask for feedback and take any necessary action steps to increase your chances of getting the job offer. Make sure that you're clear on your timeline. Are you in a position to convert to full-time right after your internship, or do you still have a semester before you graduate? Make sure that they understand your availability so that there isn't any misunderstanding. Also, make sure that you're talking to the right people who have decision-making power. Ask your manager who this is. Is it them? Is it their boss? Someone in HR? The university recruiting team lead? Identify the right person to follow up with. And if now isn't the time, that's out of your control. But what remains in your control is how you handle that. Don't burn bridges. Maintain a positive attitude and continue to nurture those relationships. You never know what the future holds. I'm proof. I received my first full-time job offer out of an internship that I was rejected from. I never even interned for the guy, but he came back and offered me a job months later because of the effort that I made to stay in touch and continue to develop my skills with other experiences in the meantime. Good luck. I'm cheering for you. Control what you can and add value. There's power in that. Thanks for watching. If this video gave you some new insights today, please give it a like and share it with a friend or two. Hit that red subscribe button and bell below so that you don't miss out on future videos. In support of your hustle, I'm Jenna from theinternhustle.com, and I'll see you next Monday.